Not that you need anyone to tell you you're excellent at doing something, but hearing someone who has been in sales for 15 years say, everyone at my store wants you to work here because you're going to kill it.
Yeah.
It's like, not with cars, but boom, houses that feel good.
What's up, dream builder? Are you someone who's interested in creating a life by your design through all things real estate? Well, I can assure you, you are in the right place. Join me, your host, Casanova Brooks. I'm an award-winning real estate agent and investor as we uncover the top tips, strategies, and the mindset of the top real estate entrepreneurs across the world. Stay locked in because we're about to go on a journey that will change your life. What's up, dream builder? We are back again with another real estate episode, and I'm excited because today I have my sister on the line, Mrs. Keisha Pearson. Keisha, you want to go ahead and say what's up to DreamNation?
Hello, everyone. I want to start by saying I'm very happy to be here, very excited. This is a first for me. And thank you, Casanova, for extending the offer, because what an opportunity to grow and continue to deepen our connection and the relationships that we're building.
Oh, absolutely. Now, you have some of the dopest energy that I've ever met. So I'm excited for people to be able to hear it, to be able to see it. And you've been in real estate for how long?
Going on 3 years.
Going on 3 years. Tell us about, for you, what was the attraction to real estate? Because I know I've been friends with you for many years. We knew each other since we were a lot younger. Obviously, I was friends with your older sister, but you have always been somebody that when you put your mind to it, you crush anything that you do. So out of everything you could have done, why real estate?
Well, this is a little bit personal and I'm happy to share, but just trigger warning for some people. When I was younger, I was in foster care. And so for that, I saw, I kind of didn't have that family life when I was younger. And I had a very bad experience in the foster system. And when I would see people and their family going into their homes, like that just meant everything to me. And I thought, that's something I'm missing. And it's something I would love to give everyone. And when I was younger, I knew that, but I didn't know, like, how does that correlate in real life? Because I was 5 or 4, so it was like how I didn't make that connection. As I got older, I'm sure as everyone does, I like to drive past people's house and see how they have it decorated. I still get those feel good feelings when I watch a whole family walk into their house around Christmas time and all the good feel goods. So then my personality, I love meeting people. It's my favorite. I love people more than a lot of people do. People are like, how are you not drained? And because I think people are great. And so when I decided that, I had to figure out, how do the two coincide? I met my then boyfriend, now husband, and he was higher up in the Ford dealership, and all of his team was like, you need to get your girlfriend in here to sell cars. Like, she is a salesperson. People love her. You need to get her in here. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. And then it kind of was like, duh, I should do real estate. I had thought about it before, but then all the pieces fell into line. Not that you need anyone to tell you you're excellent at doing something, but hearing someone who has been in sales for 15 years say, everyone at my store wants you to work here because you're going to kill it.
Yeah.
It's like, not with cars, but boom, houses that feel good. It comes full circle. So we were in South Dakota and I was going to start there, but I don't know, there was just not a fire under me. I had a full-time job and a part-time job as a server. And so while it was something I wanted, it wasn't something that I needed. There was nothing pushing me. Fast forward a couple years, my husband, again, then boyfriend, but my husband and I moved to Colorado. And man, it is tough here. I was unemployed for 3 months before finding a serving job. And I was applying every day to 5 to 10 restaurants and offices. And I just was having a hard time getting it. Then as a server, 3 months in, when I finally got a job, they didn't have enough hours because there's so many people here. My husband was like, don't worry about it. You're going to get your real estate license. Now's the time. There's no reason. You have seen that you cannot get a job that easily here. You have one, keep it, and like you're getting your license. So as you can imagine, that was very scary because
Right.
it's, I was like, well, I don't have the money for it. My boyfriend at the time, son, I'm paying for it. It's done. Like, stop making excuses. It's done. And so then I got in, and the rest was history. It is actually a really incredible experience for me, and I've learned a lot. I've met a lot of people, and that's how I got here.
Got it. Now, tell you, scary time. I think it's scary. Many people can relate to that because it's scary time when you first decide you're going to get into real estate, especially if you're going pretty much full time. You don't have a consistent income. So for you, how did you get the grit? How did you get the wheels turning? Who was your first client? Do you remember?
I do. My first client came from, so I'm in a military town. We have 5 military bases. And so my first one, that just happened by luck, truly. She posted in a group, me and my husband are PCSing, and I need someone to help me sell my house. I myself am former military. So I said, hey girl, I would love to help you. I know all about the PCS process. I'm also a realtor. So I understand your family struggles. And I was the first person to comment. And that was it. She deleted the post, immediately messaged me, because here in Colorado, you'll have, if you post that, you'll have probably 400 comments on there of different realtors.
Yeah.
Deleted the post, and that's how I got my first client. But that is not where the bulk of my business comes from. When I got into real estate, as you know, I had no normal income, supplemental income to get me by. So because of that, my big goal was to get most of my clients, if not all of my clients, for free. And so I had to be very resourceful, because my husband was making money, obviously, but we're living in Colorado. It's not cheap. And I can't pay for leads as a brand new agent. I mean, who has an extra $500 a month when you don't have any money coming in, right?
Right.
So what I did, I got very resourceful. I created like a year-long events calendar for my neighborhood specifically. We have a Facebook page, and on there, it was a year-long. Every month I'm doing something that is free to my community, but also free for me to put on. So like in January, this was last January, we had a chili cook-off. I provided the tables, I provided, the toppings. Everyone cooked their own chili. So it cost me $30, and I got to meet about 60 of my neighbors. I captured all of their information because they had to sign up. I
Yeah.
had my lender pay for a first place prize because we're all going to be voting. So it cost me $30. And from that, I got a couple deals. So what I did was I realized, ooh, this is money, right? This is too easy. And our lenders and our title companies and our partners in real estate are always looking for ways. How can I support you?
Right.
As realtors, we don't have too many ways other than treat my clients right, maybe help me with a little bit of marketing. But when I went to all of my partners, they were too excited. So another thing I did was like the front porch project. It was a nationwide type thing. I saw it on Good Morning America. And what it was,
Explain us what that is for anybody
yes,
who doesn't know.
of course. So what I saw, it was a professional photographer, and she was going out at the height of the pandemic, taking pictures of families on their front porch, because we were all so disconnected from each other, but we were all experiencing the same thing. And so her mission, because she was out of work now, and she was only taking donations for the photo, she wasn't charging anyone. And so she was trying to connect people. And when I saw that, we have a Facebook page. I saw that I can do that for my community. I have a camera. I bought some edits on Etsy for $5 so I could put the filter on it. I did it all myself. It cost
Mm.
me nothing. The day we set it up was actually just a Saturday, and it took us about 4 hours. There were 50 families that participated. I emailed them all the Google Drive and said, thank you so much for participating. From that, I got 4 deals in my neighborhood. And both of them were buy sell. So they were selling their house and then buying a new house. And so it was 2 clients, but 4 deals out of that. And of course, it cost me time, because 4 hours of taking photos and then 2 hours of editing, or whatever it was, an hour, I don't know. but for 4 deals, so worth it. So
Right.
actually this weekend we are doing our volume 2 front porch project photos. And this year I hired a professional photographer and I'm having her. I thought, what a good way to again give back to somebody else in my community. I can hire her and she's going to be able to put her name, logo, whatever. She's a professional photographer. So she's going to get those potential clients in the future as well. So when I grow into new things, I always look for, okay, now that I know how this goes, how can I include somebody else and bless them? And so then I found a mom photographer whose husband just went to basic training and she's looking for extra cash and she does all my photos anyway. I love her work. And I said, hey, can I give you this opportunity? And she was too excited because, again,
Yeah.
now she's going to meet 50 people, 50 families that she wouldn't have otherwise met. And I get beautiful photos to give to my clients and provide them with value without actually asking them for much. All of those people who reach out, those 2 people that I got 4 deals from, reached out to me. And it wasn't like, hey, come interview. It was, you are such a cool person. You took my family's photos in the weirdest time ever and like didn't ask for anything. Come on over to my house. I want to sell my house with you.
Wow.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. No, and I think somebody that's just starting out right now, they're super inspired. They're like, oh my God. Because one of the things that I learned early on is you have one of 2 things. You either have a lot of time and no money, or you have a lot of money and no time. And so for a lot of people right now, they're looking for side hustles. They're looking for ways that they can create income. But what that showed is that you weren't focused on the short term. You were focused on the long term. If I just provide value, and you said, I built a 12-month community calendar essentially of what something that I could do every single month. That shows right there that I'm going to be committed and I'm going to stick to this. And that's something that realtors have to understand, is that
Yeah.
nothing comes, something I learned as well when I first started. You have the prospecting or the work that you do today is for 30, 60, 90, even 120 days from now, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to come today. So that's super cool. Now for you, as you were getting this thing off the ground and running, where did you get the knowledge and the insight to partner with lenders and title companies and those people? Because a lot of people don't even know that. Where did you learn that?
I honestly think it was just, I have learned over my 28 years of life, most people want to give you what you want. You just have to ask.
Mm,
Um, because I've had that question asked a lot, like, how did you know they would do it? Well, I didn't know they would do it. I had no clue if they would do it, but I knew I didn't have the resources. And I knew if I sell a house, I'm going to take it to this title company. If I have a client buying a house, I am going to take it to this lender. And I just presented it. I'm very confident. I assume everything is a yes. And if it's a no, my feelings aren't hurt, of course. But when someone walks in and is like, hey, I have this great idea. I'm going to put on this chili cook off and I would love for you to spend the money, like bring water bottles with your mortgage company on it, spend 40 bucks for the whatever, and we'll both get leads out of that, whether it's refinance leads or people that are going to buy. What do you think about that? I thought it would be really beneficial for both of us. They'd never heard it. So everyone was like, oh, heck yes. Thank you for giving me a way that I can also support your business. Because as realtors know, title companies and mortgage lenders, their businesses do come from us. So of course
mhm.
they're looking for ways to support. So just ask. Of course, I'm not going to say, hey, float me $5,000. I might down the road if it was a good enough investment, but starting out, it was a very easy ask. I didn't feel bad asking, and I thought we're both getting something out of it. So truly just asking. No one told me.
I love it. I love it. Now, one of the other things that really attracted me to you was right when you opened your mouth, you had a aura about you that really said empowerment for everybody, right? And we've had conversations offline about this, and even before we started the show, we were talking about this. You and I, we first connected because we were talking about dreams, we were talking about goals, and for you, you feel like especially women, they should be empowered. What is your attraction to not just making it all about you, but making sure that other people get impact from everything that you're doing and from everything that you're learning?
Excellent question. I want to start by saying my mom is just an incredible woman. Growing up, she taught us a lot of lessons that at the time were so over my head, but they were seeping in. I was listening. And one big thing that she told us is that God, I don't know if you guys want to hear this, but God put us here to take care of one another, period. Black, white, brown, purple, green, she doesn't care. Rich, poor, doesn't care. Homeless, doesn't care. You are no better than the next person. And at any moment, you could fall into despair. Something could happen. A partner could die. You could lose everything. And you're going to get what in your good times you gave out to other people. She just, oh, I have goosebumps talking about it. My
Yeah.
mom's
Yeah.
an incredible woman. And so it really stuck with me that, you do need to uplift, inspire, and empower everyone around you. We all have an energy. And what happens when you're around people, whether you know it or not, is they're absorbing your energy. I have a very strong, vibrant energy. So another thing my mom instilled in me is everywhere you go, whether you like it or not, people are going to follow you. And you have to look back and say, are you confident and happy with where you led those people?
Mm.
Because they're going to follow you, whether you want them to or not. And when she said that, I'm like, yeah, whatever, mom, right? Haven't we all been there? Whatever. What do you know? Mind your own business. Well, then I was in the military, and my lieutenant said to me one day, he pulled me aside because we got into formation. And I was like, all I did was rolled my eyes, but I was like, oh, that's what I did. He pulls me aside afterwards and he's like, Mace, maiden name, Mace, you're toxic. I was like, excuse me? Like, what? He said, maybe that was a little too harsh, but whatever mood you're in, the people around you will pick up on that. So if you're in a good mood, they're going to be in a good mood because you are so, what word did he use? Basically, I'm so influential. Like, your aura is going to make or break someone's day. And so when you walked in and rolled your eyes, how many of your battle buddies do you think that didn't even have the thought that, oh man, today sucks, then was like, yeah, today does suck.
Right.
And he said, you have to use your voice for good. After that, it was my mom came right back into focus. And I'm like, oh no, now this is somebody who's only known me for a short amount of time saying the same thing my mother did. And after that day, it was done because I realized even when I'm in a bad mood, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm human, I get in bad moods, but I do it at home by myself. I don't want to put it even on my husband because then he'll have a bad day. And I don't want anyone to have a bad day on account of my bad day because I can also bounce back very, very quickly. I'm very resilient. Not everyone is. So I might come in a bad mood and then leave in a good mood, but left that bad mood with you. And the thought of that, I love people. So you can imagine that breaks my heart. I don't want to give them that energy.
Right. No, and that's so, so powerful. And I'm getting chills and goosebumps right now because I think for anybody that's watching or listening, regardless if you're in real estate or anything that you do where other people depend on you, if you take that bad energy, that bad aura into a conversation, especially when they're heated negotiations, people can feel that. And you need other people to work with you to get these deals closed, whether it's your lender, your title company, your seller, your buyer, the other agent. And so you have to think about that. Like, okay, let me just, and this is something I always say, and this is why I love CJ, because for the most part, I mean, he's 9 years old, but he's so much different than my daughter Jada, but he always stays cool, calm, and collected for the most part, right? He's 9, but he's always just high energy, but he can bounce back really quickly. And that's something that we tell him all the time is understand that your energy, it is infectious. And I know that as well. So that's why when people always ask me, how does, I always stay so vibrant. And I always say that I understand that right now my motor runs at 120 miles per hour, and it won't always run that way. At some point we'll all die down, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like that Maya Angelou quote, right? Like, people won't remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. And a lot of times you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. And us in real estate, a lot of the opportunities that we have, they come from first impressions. You don't know who you're talking to at a baseball game, at a football game. You don't know if that person has the connection to put you in front of a $1 million listing, or if that person is the person that has the $1 million listing for you. right?
Absolutely.
So I love that you said that, and I hope that somebody recognizes that and they say, what is my energy today? I'm about to go on this presentation. I'm with this for-sale by owner that already doesn't want to be in my face, right? Because they think my commissions are too high or whatever it might be. And so they can sense your energy when you come into the room and you come into their house. So think about that. That's so powerful. Knowing what you know now and how successful you've been over these 3 years. And for anybody that doesn't know, check what is the team name? Because you just changed your team name on Facebook.
Yes, it is Painted Skies Group. I'm here in
Painted
Colorado.
Skies Group.
Yes.
What's the meaning behind the name? I'm sure there's a meaning.
Well, it's because we live in beautiful Colorado. Where I live specifically, the whole Front Range is right in front of me. And you guys, every morning and every night I wake up and I just say, praise the Lord that I live here. Like I get a new painting every day of pinks and purples and blues and oranges behind those mountains. It is so gorgeous. It just makes me praise the Lord. That's all I can say because I'm just so grateful. It's beautiful. And that's the meaning behind it. Feel good.
Got it. I love it. So now that you're so much wiser in these last 3 years, and now you've grown, you have your husband in the business as well. He just joined you. So obviously your energy was very infectious, and he feels like, listen, I was selling cars. Now I can build a true empire. Empire is the best word I could use with my wife, my partner in crime. For somebody else that's starting right now and they're saying, okay, my business isn't there yet, right? And I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Where, if you had to start all over, where would you start in today's market where you're primarily, having to deal with a lot of buyers because listings are hard to come from? Where would you start?
If I'm being honest, I would start in pre-foreclosure. Right now, sharing my little nuggets with you guys. This is what
Yeah.
my husband and I are going to do. Right now, for those of you who don't know, Joe Biden extended homeowners not getting kicked out until June. Lots of those homeowners have no money and they don't know you can sell your house. You do not have to let the bank take it. Let's sell it, make you some money so you can go rent, you can go whatever you need to do. So in this market specifically, you guys, there are, I want to say last I looked on online or on Good Morning America or whatever, it said 10 million people are in pre-foreclosure. And how good would it feel to walk into that place and say, listen, you have options and let's make you some money. Because of course it's going to be an uncomfortable conversation because everyone's embarrassed if they're in pre-foreclosure.
Right.
But to share like, this is not hopeless. Let's get you out of here with some money and sell your house. I think giving them hope is very important in the world we're in today. And that's where I would start. It's free. You can go online and look at the pre-foreclosures.
Where do
You
you
can
go?
your title company. Here specifically in Colorado, it's Colorado foreclosures, something. Every state is state specific. You
Got
can
it.
also contact your lenders. Your
Okay.
lenders can get that information, as can title companies. Again, guys, leverage your resources. If anything, it might be $5, but you have to give just a little bit. And I'm the one that'll tell you only a little bit. Don't go too far into debt for your new business. The other thing I would say is that foreclosures isn't your style and you're like, heck no, I don't want to talk to those sad people when I'm just starting. No problem. I would say whatever you're doing, stick to it. Exactly like we said earlier, people think that, oh, I did it for a month and I didn't get anything, on to the next thing. In these 3 years, I went from 0 listings in my neighborhood to now consistently 2 to 3. And it's just continuing to build because those people are also referring their neighbors to me.
Right.
And that didn't happen in the first 6 months or even the first year. I'm 3 years in and I'm now seeing 2 to 3 deals where I get to walk over to the listing appointment and they're come list me's. So whatever you guys do, just truly, truly stick to it. I don't know what the timeline actually is, but I'd say at least 6 months. Even if it seems like you're just spinning your wheels, don't give up because people are watching you. And the moment you give up, that's when they forget about you.
Yeah. Oh, that's so powerful. I just got off with another team member of ours and I was telling them, there's only 2 reasons that people go out of business, right? And in any business. Number 1 is people don't know that you're in business because you don't market enough, right? Or number two is people forgot about you. They forgot that you were in business because you did not stay top of mind. And there's so many ways that you could stay top of mind, whether it's a funnel, right? Whether it's just posting on social media once a day on all of your platforms. Maybe you're not doing 3 to 4 posts. Maybe it's an email. Maybe it's a text marketing campaign. Maybe it's direct mail. Whatever it is that you want to do, you have to stay consistent with it because someone is out there watching you. Right. And they're waiting because they have these fears or maybe concerns or doubts because they don't know. Are you fly by night? Are you just a one-time person? But if they get it every single month, eventually, what do we all do once we see something that we don't know about? We go to Google. Can they find you? And if they see, okay, that person's showing their picture of their family, their dogs, their whatever it might be, and now all of a sudden after month 4, month 5, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, like she's real. Let's call her. Let's see if she's really real. Is this really Keisha? This is really Keisha. Oh, Keisha, hey. Right? It's so crazy. So I love that you said that. Just stay consistent. Where do you go for your inspiration? Where do you go for your mind? When you have a bad day, like you said, you can always snap out of it. Where do you go to try to snap out of it? Is it a book? Is it a YouTube channel, podcast?
I guess for me, what I need to do, I truly will just step away from whatever I'm doing, whether it's work, whether it's my partner, whether it's my friends. I just have to disconnect. I am very connected, as we all are. And so I can feel myself getting very crazy. Our phones are always ringing, emails coming in, clients need you. Oh man, this appraisal came in low. There's so much stress. I will just disconnect for about 30 minutes. And sometimes I'll turn on Netflix and watch an episode or two of whatever I want and not talk to anyone. Other times I have to take a bubble bath because I'm done with the day. I'm done with the energy. I've got to wash it off and cleanse myself. Truly, it's just alone time because when you are a people person and you don't want to give off your bad energy, you need to step back. Sometimes it's books. Actually, let me show you. I have you on my computer, but here are all my books right here, a whole stack of them.
Start with why.
Yes. So I have Tony Robbins, the Money Mat. Like I have something that when I'm feeling disconnected, I can take my mind off of what's going on now. Whether that's, like I said, Netflix, or I say, okay, well, I'm feeling very like I'm a bad realtor. Don't we all have imposter syndrome at some point? So I'm like, fine, I'm going to go spend 30 minutes and read something about real estate. That's going to make me feel like, well, I'm not so much of an imposter because I just did some homework. So we're good to go.
We're good to go. I love it. I love it. This has been such phenomenal information, and I'm super excited that I got the opportunity to bring you on here because, again, there's so many lives that will be impacted, whether they're watching or listening at this. A couple last questions that I have for you. The first one is, knowing everything that you know now, and you've gotten so many good nuggets in life, if there was one thing that you wish you could have implemented or you would have implemented sooner to accelerate your path on your journey to where you are today, what would that one thing be?
Automate everything you can. And when I say automate, I mean emails. You're sending out the same email when you go under contract to the seller's agent or the buyer's agent. Automate that. Create a template. You have the exact same things you're doing in every deal. It took me until about 6 months ago before I automated it. And that was just because I was like, oh yeah, here is the information you need. Now all I do is I copy and paste and insert, I change 4 things and every client's getting the same thing. I know there's no scary, like, oh no, did I give someone the wrong information? Could I be sued for giving someone more information than someone else, or whatever the case is? It just takes a lot of time off your plate and stress. So automate everything, you guys.
Yeah, that's so key. I think there's books out there on this, but automate, delegate, or delete, right? Those are the 3 things. You got to automate it. If you cannot automate it, then you got to delegate it to someone else. And if you can't do either of them, is there a way that you could delete this whole thing? Like, is it necessary that you do it this way and in this format? Because if it is, I'm sure there's a way you can automate it. So that's a key nugget right there. If there was someone that you could take to lunch and you only got to ask them one question, dead or alive, who would that person be? And what's the one question that you would ask them?
I guess one person that I could take would probably be my grandma Kathy, and it's very personal, I know, and so not like juicy. The
It's
reason
all good.
is because she was truly the kindest woman I ever met. She raised us as I how do I say this? Obviously, my mom raised us once we got back into her house, but my grandmother lived with us and was an additional caretaker. And she was the nurturer. Okay. She was the one we're sick and all that good stuff. But she was also the smartest woman I have ever met, like IQ level of a genius, very smart. And so I just want to sit down and have conversations with her now as an adult and just see, because her life passion was not so much people, but children, and see, how fulfilling is that? Because that's what I chase after. I chase after the dopamine of making others feel good. And sometimes it can be a little discouraging, because it's like, oh man. And so I just want to see, was she happy with how everything played out? Because I truly know that I will be. But when I'm so aligned with her and my mom, I know how I feel about my mom and how she sees things because I get to have those conversations as an adult. I would want to have those with my grandmother to see, and just for her to see how awesome of a human I've turned out to be to other humans, because that's, again, what it's all about, treating one another just the same. You're me, I'm you. Let's treat each other the
Facts.
same. Let's be good to one another. Life is too freaking short, guys.
I love it. I love it. So such again amazing wisdom that a lot of people they can take it and they can apply it to themselves, right? We all have that grandmother that we love. I know my grandma helped to raise me, and maybe if it's not your grandmother, it's your grandfather or it's your uncle or somebody who was just like you said, a nurturer. That was just somebody that always they made you believe that anything was possible and that you weren't an alien, you weren't a bad kid, any of those things, right? So I love that you said that, and it made me think of my grandmother all day. And yeah, so we won't get too deep into that because we could talk about that for another 45 minutes. But yeah, this is great. The last question that I have for you is you decided, and I want other people because you've dropped so much wisdom, and I'm curious to hear. You were at a company, and we don't have to say it, but you were at a very, very successful company, right? And you were really starting to get the wheels turning for yourself in real estate. But you decided to make a decision. You decided to move to another brokerage, and that brokerage is eXp Realty. I'm curious to know what made you make the decision to move to eXp Realty, and what has been your experience since you've been at eXp Realty?
All good questions. So what happened was, as you know, you reached out to me, perfect timing. Something was just wasn't fitting right at my brokerage, but I was staying there out of comfortability. This is where I started. These are the people I knew. And so I thought it's good enough, right? And then you called and you just showed me a whole nother opportunity. You weren't shoving anything down my throat. You said, hey, here's the information. I got off the phone with you. I went down, talked to my husband. I said, what do you think about this? He said, oh, if I ever got into real estate, that's absolutely where I'd be. And so it was very easy for me because I'm kind of a fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl. And my husband is very data driven, very analytical. And he was looking at everything. He's like, obviously, it's not my license. I won't tell you what to do. But that just felt good because all the things that I got from you, all the little nuggets, because you were just also sharing wisdom about real estate with me. And I wasn't even with you. And then I came over and man, blew my mind. One of my biggest concerns was, I'm sure the same as everyone's. Well, how am I going to feel connected? How am I going to get the knowledge? So much knowledge was just thrown at me, given to me on demand. I could watch it whenever I wanted. If I had a question, I didn't have to, wait 6 hours. It was insane. Well, then couple that with, as I maybe you guys have caught on the theme of this, is I love people. So then I was told, guess what? You can also mentor new agents. When I was a new agent, I had no leadership. And I'll share just a quick story with you. I didn't know how to run a CMA. So I went to my leadership. We had classes and I said, hey, could you put this on the calendar, how to run a CMA, a comparative market analysis? I just don't know how. I'd been in maybe 3 weeks at this point. And she said, if you're interested in putting classes together. Maybe you should join a board or a leadership group. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want to join anything. I need to learn how to do a CMA. That's it. But at eXp, as soon as I'm like, hey, I need some help, someone would help me. So then I thought I had very bad experience with mentors, right? And then it was an opportunity. Since then, I've had probably 10 mentors in the last year and a half, mentees, I'm sorry. All people that I get to literally impact every deal they're doing. Every time they get a new client, I'm the person they call, that they look to, that they trust. And that feels so cool. And I'm not, while that is out of the goodness of my heart, it's not just out of the goodness of my heart. I'm getting paid for it. So that was awesome to be able to say, oh, I get to do something that I love so much and I get paid for it. No brainer. To top that off, you guys, I'm sure you hear this on every one of Casanova's guests who are from eXp. The stock options are insane. In a year, I have close to $40,000, a year and a half, $40,000 for my retirement plan from doing nothing more than selling houses. That's it. I mean, I was doing that where I was before. I will continue to do that. That's my job. And so to have something that's like, oh, by the way, we're helping you with your retirement. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not interested when I'm 60 in competing with the hot 20-year-olds. I'll be a 60-year-old woman and that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested at the age of 50 of retiring and kicking back on a beach. And as a realtor, all of us know you don't get paid unless you're working.
Right.
eXp gives you options to, of course, work your business, but gives you options to retire at 50 and have your legs kicked up on a beach and not think about like, how the heck am I going to pay my bills? So eXp was a no-brainer. Once I got over here, I just thought, why does everyone not know about this? Everyone should know, because it truly is going to change your life from doing the same thing you're doing wherever you are currently. No brainer.
Yes, that's when I saw it, and it's so funny because everybody's like, "Oh, I'm not interested," and I remember, and you were somebody that you were not interested. The first time I ever even brought it up, you're like, "No, I'm good where I'm at." I'm like, "You gotta at least just look at the information." Like, I'm good, and I'm like, "Okay, well, look, I don't want to bug you about this, but I'm just gonna send you over a video. Just watch the video, and then let me know your thoughts." And then I wake up the next morning, and you got like a paragraph. You're like, I got these questions," and then I'm like, "Okay, see." Then that was where it went, right? And that was the exact thing of what I said. I was not interested in the beginning. And then when I saw it, you know, the mantra goes, once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? And it was just like, wow, like this is a better opportunity. And just like you said, for impact of people, because many agents, that's all they want to do is sell real estate. Well, if it's about your family and about building generational wealth, why would you not sell real estate at a place that says, I want to help you someday be on a beach when you're 60 for just selling that real estate?
Yeah.
You know? And so I love hearing your experience, and I'm glad that I got to partner with you. I hope more people see it, regardless of who showed it to you, right? At least just look at the information and figure out, is that somebody you would want to partner up with? And if you feel like that it is, then you owe it to your family and yourself to say, give this thing a shot. Because here's also what I tell people. If you're at a traditional brokerage right now, and for whatever reason, it does not work out, can you not go back? Who's going to say they don't want you back? You pay them to be there, right? You're giving them your royalty fee or your desk fee or your office fee, whatever it is. They'll take you back as long as you do it in the correct format. As in, hey, you know what? This is an opportunity that I just feel like I can't pass up on right now. I love what what you guys have offered me. And I want to stay family. I want to stay friends, but this is where I'm going to, you know, choose to take my business for now. And if it doesn't work, I hope that I can come back. There's no broker in America, because they understand, all brokers, they understand it's still a relationship business. They might be a little salty, but they might say, you know what? The doors are all, the good ones, the great ones will say the doors are always open for you if you choose to come back. I appreciate you even being here. And frankly, I appreciate you helping me build my brand. Whether I'm Berkshire, Coldwell Banker, whatever it is, you help them build their brand for however long you were there. So they should have some appreciation and say, I understand that you might need to fly and try your wings somewhere else. So that's a really cool story. But the very last thing that I want to ask you is, for somebody, go ahead.
To build on what you just said about a big thing that people at traditional brokers, brokerages are hearing from their brokers is how it's such a bad idea. And I just want to say to you guys, of course they're going to make you afraid. You're paying their bills. So of course they're going to say, oh, it's not going to work. It's short-lived, because they're not interested in losing their money. And so truly, anyone listening to this, take your broker's voice out of your head and think, what is best for my family? Because at the end of the day, those are the only people that truly matter. Of course, everyone matters, but your family is who matters. And if you take that broker's voice out and just hear your little kids and what life you want to give them, you will know it's truly a no-brainer. And no traditional broker is going to tell you it's a great opportunity, because by doing that, they're losing the money you're giving to their family.
100%. And you had that same experience. I remember you were like, I'm going to go talk to my broker about it. And then came back, you're like, my broker said this and this and this and this. And something that I learned early from being at eXp, because it's a new model and people don't like change. People fear what they don't know. Right. And it's understandable. But what they said to me is, it was like, think about it like this. If you walk into the Ford dealership and you say, hey, I'm thinking about buying this Tesla, what do you think they're going to say? Oh, yeah, Tesla's a great electric car. Like, everything's going away from. No, there's no way they're going to say that. They're going to say, why would you want that? You want an American-made car where you can get the parts and everything from around the corner. And it's okay, but that's all that they know, right? So you have to respect that. And I think something else that was said was, you know, people have concerns, and their concerns can be genuine, right? But at the same time, their concerns can be genuinely wrong. Right. Yeah. So, and that was something that I heard. And it's in the beginning, if you would invest all of your money into Facebook, right, saying, hey, we're going to be $1 trillion company, or if you would invested all of your money into Uber to say, hey, we're going to get strangers to hop in our car, if everyone would have called you crazy. In the beginning, when we only knew taxi cabs, that's crazy. Nobody's going to get in a car that they don't just know a random person. To be a taxi cab owner, you got to get certifications. You got to do all these things. Taxi cabs are safe, right? And now all of a sudden you look at it, we go to different countries and we get off of the airport knowing no one. Think about anybody. If you've traveled, we know no one. What's the first thing we do? Pull out our phone, look up Lyft or Uber. Right. Yeah. And it's crazy. 3 months in advance, we're planning vacations in other people's houses. We're looking at this and we're saying, oh, they got nice furniture. They're around the ballpark. It looks like we could stay at their house. Like, that's so crazy. But it's the norm now. And so I respect that you said that. And it's good just to always hear a different perspective. That's what I tell people. Look at every perspective. Do your homework on it. Yeah. The very last question that I have for you is, there's somebody out there right now, not me. There's somebody else out there, I'm sure, that is inspired by your journey. They love everything of what you've had to say, and they resonate with you and your message. But they have that little voice in their head, and you alluded to it earlier, right? We all have that little bit of imposter syndrome. They have that little voice in their heads that says that they're not strong enough, they're not smart enough, or maybe they just don't have enough resources. What's that one thing that you would leave that person with to get them to just take action?
I would say words are very powerful, and truly they are. So whether you say you can or you say you can't, you're right. And for me, if I'm going to be betting on anyone or anything in this world, it's going to be on me. And I would hope that you'd have the courage to do the same thing for yourself, because truly everyone can love you, but you're the only one who has to live with yourself forever. And so when you think about that, my body, I have gotten through every single day of my life. Every day I've made it through. I've won 28 years. And so why would I tell myself, no, I can't do that? My body has proven to me I can do anything. And I hope that you guys just reframe your mindset from I can't to I can, because whatever you're telling yourself, you guys, your literal cells are trying to make that true. Everything in your body, you say, oh, I can't do this. Your body is going to give you every reason you can't. But you say, oh, I can do that. You guys, I promise you, things just appear. Ads on Facebook, you meet someone at the gas station. Opportunities just come up when you say, oh, yes, I can do this. The world, the universe, God, whoever, source, whatever you believe in, they want you to succeed. And so if you go out and say, I can do this, you can. And if you think, oh, I need someone that can help me, I know myself, all my friends know that I will help them with anything. And I am sure you have a friend that is just like me. And I can be that friend. You guys add me on Facebook, add me on Instagram. I'll be that friend that's going to say, oh, heck yes, you're everything. Here are things. For my friends, I just give them resources. When they tell me they have an idea, here you go. I found all of this, because the people in your corner do want you to succeed, but you have to also want that. So whether you say you can or you say you can't, you're right.
You're right. It's phenomenal parting words for anyone who wants to stay connected with you. You kind of already told us where we can find you, but tell us directly, where can we find you at?
Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I am all under Keisha Pearson. On YouTube, I'm not too big on that, but you guys can follow
Yet,
me there.
yet.
Not yet, correct, not yet. But my husband and I's goal is to, this year, specifically 2021, start our YouTube page. So from there, it won't be too personal, obviously, but if you guys want to get inspiration or ideas to take back to your team, put in your market, feel free, follow me there too.
Got it. Well, we'll make sure that we put all of our links in the show notes and on the website, DreamNation. But again, just as she said, you have to take action, because whatever you believe, you can achieve, but it has to be that positive. And if you don't take action on your dream, as you know, it will only merely be a fantasy. So that's why we're all about taking action here at DreamNation. That's all for this one. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you guys.
Hey guys, thank you for sticking with me and watching this video. Now, if you've gotten any value out of this video, I want you to do me a favor. I need you to make sure that you hit that subscribe button and also turn on those bell notifications. What that's gonna do is it's gonna tell you whenever I drop more heat just like this video. And make sure that you hit that like button, because that's gonna let the YouTube gods know that more people need to be seeing this video. I appreciate you watching, and as a token of my appreciation, I dropped a couple more videos for you to take a look at in the meantime until I drop more heat. Remember, in the dream we trust, but you gotta take action. Otherwise, that dream that you have will only merely be a fantasy. I'll catch you on the next one.